They voted for that system. We're fixing it. We're clearing up the mess that they left, just like we're clearing up the NHS and the economy.
You may already have heard about the moment Sir Keir Starmer's closest ally, the Chancellor, finally faltered in a packed House of Commons. With every gaze fixed on her, the pressure became unmistakable. And in that critical moment, she visibly struggled to hold her ground.
The Chancellor wiped away tears as Sir Keir Starmer was defending the government's welfare reforms following yesterday's U-turn that's left a £5 billion hole in the public finances.
MPs looked on as an extraordinary moment unfolded in the Commons. Labour Chancellor Rachel Reeves appeared visibly shaken after Kem Badnow delivered a sharply targeted critique of her record. His pointed questioning left her struggling to regain composure and raised significant doubts about her long-term standing in the role.
This man has forgotten that his welfare bill was there to plug a black hole created by the Chancellor. Instead, they're creating new ones. They're creating new ones. She looks, Mr. Speaker, she's pointing at me. She looks absolutely miserable. Labour MPs, yeah, she looks absolutely miserable. Labour MPs, they can point as much as they like. The fact is, Labour MPs are going on the record saying that the Chancellor is toast, and the reality is that she is a human shield for his incompetence. In January, he said that she would be in post till the next election. Will she really?
Anyone would appear shaken after facing open dissent from within their own ranks, and Rachel Reeves is no exception. She endured a severe political blow this week. First, her welfare cut proposals were fiercely challenged by Labour MPs, who dismantled the plan with unmistakable anger. Then came a noticeable shift in tone from Sir Keir Starmer himself. Now, Reeves is under intense pressure to close a £6 billion gap ahead of the autumn budget, a task that would test even the most seasoned Chancellor. And all the while, the possibility of further internal fallout hangs over her, a constant reminder of how precarious her position has become.
She was supposed to have a welfare bill that was blown out of the water, frankly. She's got to find £5 billion more in the autumn budget. She'll probably have to raise taxes. There's been huge pressure. I mean, I've been there. I haven't been a whip, but I've been involved in the kind of whipping operation when I was what's called a parliamentary private secretary. They'd have been ringing MPs every hour on the weekend saying, please, please, please vote for the government. That's stressful.
The Labour leadership is facing turbulent waters, and it's clear that some within the party are watching the unfolding drama with more interest than concern. Rachel Reeves's emotional moment in the chamber wasn't solely about her exchange with the Speaker. It also followed what insiders describe as a tense confrontation with Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner. None of this is particularly surprising. For months, Westminster observers have highlighted signs of strain between Rayner and the Starmer-Reeves partnership, with speculation about internal rivalries never far from the surface. The atmosphere in Parliament only amplified those whispers. Guarded glances, strained interactions, and a leadership team that, at times, seemed visibly out of sync, all while Sir Keir Starmer worked to project calm amid the growing sense of disorder.
She certainly won't. Mr. Speaker, I have to say I'm always cheered up when she asks me questions or responds to a statement, because she always makes a complete mess of it and shows just how unserious and irrelevant they are. But she talks about the black hole. They left a £22 billion black hole in our economy, and we're clearing it up. And I'm really proud, Mr. Speaker, that in the first year of a Labour government we got free school meals, breakfast clubs, childcare, got £15 billion invested in transport in the North and the Midlands. We're cutting regulation, planning and infrastructure is pounding forward, building 1.5 million homes, the biggest investment in social and affordable housing, and of course, Mr. Speaker, the 3 trade deals. Remember the ones that they couldn't get, including the US trade deal. On Monday, those tariffs came down. That secured the jobs at JLR. That's who we care about on this side of the House.
The body language alone told a remarkable story. You could sense the tension even through the broadcast, no attempt at projecting unity, no carefully staged camaraderie. Instead, there were strained expressions, distant exchanges, and a silence that suggested deep unease within Labour's front bench. It's little wonder that Westminster circles are now openly speculating about Rachel Reeves's future. At the same time, Sir Keir Starmer continues to dismiss any suggestion of internal turmoil, offering the familiar, polished reassurances we've heard many times before. But the reality is becoming harder to ignore. These aren't minor cracks appearing in the party's facade. They're widening fault lines that raise serious questions about stability at the very top of the Labour leadership.
How awful for the Chancellor that he couldn't confirm that she would stay in place. Yeah. He talks about this year in office. This week marks the first anniversary of Labour coming into office. And let's have it. Yes. The whips can't get them in the lobbies, but they can get them to cheer at the right time. Yeah. The fact is, his own MPs are saying this government is, and I quote, incoherent and shambolic. That's Liverpool Wavertree that said that. I could go on and on. But the fact is, it's been mistake after mistake after mistake. There is no plan to get people into work. There is no plan to cut the welfare budget. There is no strategy. There is just a series of humiliating U-turns like winter fuel, like grooming gangs. Mr. Speaker, what's really shocking is that every other party in this House voted for even more welfare spending yesterday. Yes, those MPs behind him and the Lib Dems and Reform. The Conservative Party believes that this country needs to live within its means.
It's a striking political twist. In the span of a year, the Conservatives, despite their well-documented challenges, have managed to appear less embattled in the eyes of some voters. Not because the party has fundamentally changed, but because Labour has, at times, positioned itself so closely to its predecessor that the contrast has blurred. And the public reaction has been telling. When a party adopts the style and strategy of the one the electorate just removed from office, it risks absorbing the same frustrations that brought about that defeat. Labour's struggle now reflects a deeper identity problem, a sense that the party has drifted from its core message and is facing the consequences of that shift.
That is worrying for anyone who worries about the scale of our bill.
Let's bring you in now. Richard Tice waiting patiently. Rachel Reeves insists she's totally up for the job. Is she actually up to the job?
Well, I think the reality is she realised yesterday that everybody in her party was against her. She had the Speaker apparently having a row with her. She apparently had the Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, having a row with her. And she realised that all the backbenchers, essentially...
The real turning point here is that Sir Keir Starmer's political fortunes may no longer rest in his own hands. Increasingly, they appear tied to Rachel Reeves, and the pressure surrounding her is intensifying. Should her position weaken further, the repercussions for Starmer could be significant, pulling him directly into the centre of the fallout. This isn't merely a momentary stumble at the top of the Labour leadership. It has the potential to develop into a far wider internal crisis. And what's particularly notable is that the unease isn't confined to Starmer's critics. Even some within his own camp are watching events unfold with a level of interest that suggests alliances may not be as secure as they once seemed.
In the answer that he gave, effectively tie his own political future to her.
They always do. All prime ministers, my own experience, amplified that. But if you look through history, most prime ministers...
They have to do that.
Of course they do, especially in the modern era.
Yeah.
And it's, we all say, well, the Chancellor did this, the Chancellor did that. Number 10, there isn't a comma in the mini-budget. There wasn't a comma in the number 10 didn't sanction. So the minute he gets rid of her, he is totally in the firing line. And I think he's smart enough to realise that.
It's no surprise that Sir Keir Starmer has been projecting unwavering confidence, publicly standing by Rachel Reeves at every turn. Politically, he has little choice. Her stability is increasingly tied to his own. But seasoned Westminster watchers know how quickly loyalties can shift in this environment. If history offers any guidance, it's that political fortunes in Westminster can change in plain sight, often at the hands of those closest to the leader. And that raises an uncomfortable question. Could Starmer one day find himself facing the same internal pressures he is now working so hard to contain?
She's made it clear it's a personal matter. And I'm not going to go into the personal matter of a colleague. What I will say is that she's done an excellent job as Chancellor. We have delivered inward investment to this country in record numbers, £120 billion. That'll be measured in jobs. We've created conditions for wages to go up, and we've jointly worked on the spending review, which is very broadly popular. She's done a fantastic job. She and I work together, we think together, and in the past there have been examples, I won't give any specific, of chancellors and prime ministers who weren't sort of in lockstep. We're in lockstep.
People assumed it was because of politics, that she decided to quit, or you'd said to her, Rachel, I'm sorry.
It's wrong. I can just tell you that. That's absolutely wrong. Got nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with what's happened this week. Should be Chancellor for a very long time to come.